Yamamoto is going to be picking a team any day now. And Bob Nightingale just reported the Yankees are still in the lead. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and Bob Nightingale has tweeted out that we are the front runners to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The real question here, is Yamamoto the right guy for the job? Is he going to be worth the contract he will be handed? Because he will be given a contract in or around that $300 million mark. That's more than what we gave Rodon last year. This is a big deal that he will be getting. He will be getting a huge contract. So let's go over these questions. Is he worth the deal? In my opinion, hell yeah. I'm seeing a lot of people online talking about some of the concerns here, and they are legitimate. He is coming in from a different league with different play styles, with a different ball. This is not going to be the most seamless transition one would think. Let's think about this from an outward perspective, okay? The Mets signed Kodai Senga last year, and this season he had a relatively really good year. He had one pitch that everyone was talking about that was called the ghost pitch. It was his forkball. Now, what if I told you I could get you that same pitch, but this guy is just even more consistent and has won MVPs in the same league as Kodai Senga? That's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His pitch mix is going to play extremely well in the major leagues, and it's all going to be based around that forkball. Players are going to be scared of it because now they know how devastating that pitch could be. He pitches around the mid-90s. It's not the fastest arm in the world, but it's an arm that we could get away with. He also has a devastating slider and a curveball. This guy is the absolute truth. Is he worth that price tag? That's the biggest concern here, because yes, the concerns are legitimate. Will he come in right away and make an impact, knowing the adjustments he has to make, knowing that these are different type of hitters? This is not the NPL anymore. This is the fucking major leagues. Will that adjustment be seamless enough to where we will see immediate dividends on that contract? My answer to that would be we don't know for sure, but I would bet a lot of money on it. This guy has big game experience, and look, some of his playoff games in Japan have not gone extremely well. I would assume a guy like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, a multiple-time MVP, known as one of the greatest pitchers in Japanese history, he's a guy who knows how to learn from mistakes and move on. That's a type of guy we need, because it's one of my favorite qualities in a pitcher. Basically acting like a goldfish, learning to forget what just happened. Something I didn't love about a guy like Michael Pineda. Had all the talent you could ask for. When things started to spiral, it was over. There was no coming back from that. He gives up a home run. Now he gets in his head. He walks a batter, walks a second batter, 3-run homer. He's done. He was so talented that he kept getting opportunity after opportunity. A guy like Yamamoto seems like a guy who doesn't let things snowball. That's something the Yankees desperately need. We've got a lot of guys who wear their emotions on their sleeve, and it could work to an extent. Garrett Cole makes it work, but he's also a robot. He's also a one-of-a-kind player. A guy like Rodon last year kind of seemed like he got in his head a little bit. It didn't seem to work out for him. This is something that can make or break a playoff series, because let's say in game 2, Yamamoto comes out and absolutely shits the bed, but then he has to pitch again in game 6 or game 7. I would rather a guy who's able to lock in and say, that's the past, I can forget about that, and step into this game knowing it's a new game, rather than thinking about that game saying, I should have done this, I should have done that, what was I thinking here, and then getting all wrapped up in it. You need guys who know what to do when the time comes, and that's something that Yamamoto has. If we're looking at the free agent market right now, who else is on the market that you would give that contract to? I saw conversations on Twitter. Would you take Blake Snell. 63% of people on that poll said no. And people were like, he got the luckiest Cy Young this year. He's the most overrated pitcher. If he's the most overrated pitcher, there's not much else on the market we could get. I am a believer in Blake Snell. He just won the Cy Young with a catcher that every Yankees fan has told me is a terrible catcher who makes dumb decisions behind the plate. He just won a Cy Young with that being his personal catcher. Something's got to give there. Blake Snell is just so good that he could make it work with Gary Sanchez working with him, or y'all were wrong about Gary Sanchez in the first place. I digress. Blake Snell, to me, could be that type of guy. Yankees fans seem to be the choosers type, but we're also acting like we need to be beggars, and beggars cannot be choosers. You cannot go into this offseason saying we need a starting pitcher after we traded for Juan Soto, and then look at the Yankees who are saying we're all in on Yamamoto. And even though the Dodgers, look, the Dodgers are always going to be a thorn in our side when it comes to this conversation. There's also another side conversation from Yankees Twitter saying that Yamamoto's not the right guy. Who would we get then? Do you want to bring in Bauer with all those issues? That's opening another can of worms. Do you want to bring back Frankie Montas? Now we're going middle of the barrel. We're not even going into difference maker territory. So really your only two choices here if we're spending big money on a pitcher again is Yamamoto or Snell. You guys already made your voices loud and clear. Blake Snell is overrated and you don't want him. And I think a lot of that animosity probably comes from his time he spent in Tampa Bay and also how he handled the 2020 lockout. I was not that critical of Blake Snell because when he went on his Twitch channel, which he streams a lot, and he said, look, I'm not coming back until we get paid. I kind of agreed with him. They weren't going to give him a prorated salary. They were only going to give him a certain number of, they were only going to give him a certain amount of money. These guys are looking at like, if you're going to charge me for a year of service, I should be getting at least paid for the games that I should be getting paid for under my current contract. So I should be getting in 2020 60 game checks off of my current contract, not just 60 game checks of a new salary because of this. So I understood fully what he was asking for. A lot of people didn't fully understand what he was asking for. People calling him greedy, people calling him like an asshole. He wasn't being an asshole. He's just asking for what he deserves. I'm getting off track again, but I'm assuming this is where some of that animosity comes in. So, okay, we take him off the board. It's Yamamoto or bust at this point. Hearing Bob Nightingale say we are still in the lead, even though the Dodgers just freed up $680 million from Shohei's contract to be able to bring in other guys, with Yamamoto saying he wanted to play with Japanese players. The Yankees are still in the lead, and it's for two reasons. One, Yamamoto wants to make his own career. He doesn't want to be in the shadows of another generational star. That would be Shohei Ohtani out in LA. Both of them are Japanese. Both of them have their own sort of style, because Yamamoto is a guy who also loves the spotlight. Makes him a great candidate for New York. We got the biggest spotlight. Even out of the LA area, it's our spotlight that prevails. Shohei is more of a quiet type, but he lets his play talk, and if Yamamoto went there, he wouldn't be getting the shine as if he came here. Because although Cole would be our 1, he would be a solid 2. And if he's got that personality, he'd be a very popular guy here. He brings results, and he brings a sort of a popularity and a sort of style of character that can be marketed. He will be very, very lucrative here in New York. And I think he sees that. And that's why he still reportedly has us in the lead. I'm really hoping that Yamamoto decides that New York is the right place for him. because with Yamamoto, this team is a World Series contender that can compete with anyone. Even this new Dodgers team that they just built, this Yankees team can compete with them based on these recent acquisitions. I just tell Hal and Cash, step on the gas. It's not over yet. We still have some holes. This would be a major hole we fix. And this move right here could be the finished product. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.